All right, shalom, shalom. And first and foremost, I'm going to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father, the Most High, our Creator and our power, who the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahweh. In the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord, our Savior, and our Deliverer, the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls JC. His name is Yahweh Shai. Call Halayamla, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash. And double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. And salutations, peace, blessings, and safety unto the hopeful elect out there. And this lesson is gonna be a pretty much a response to a clip that I seen, and it was an interview that Terrence Crawford was doing on the podcast called what is it called? I forget what the podcast is called. Um, maybe it'll come back, maybe not. But that's not it's not important. But in particular, one of the dudes on the podcast, right? I believe he is a former football player. This guy Channing Crowder, which I've heard him talk before. I mean, I've seen clips of him before. So what he said within this particular interview didn't surprise me because I already knew what kind of dude he was by the shit that he say out his mouth, and you can tell by the way a person talks what kind of person they are, man. You know, a real man is going to abstain from joking a certain type of way. A real man is not going to say certain things out of his mouth, especially not to another man. So that dude, he's of the world, and he got a homosexual spirit on him too, man. He got some real suspect ways about him. But particularly in this interview that he was doing with Terrence Crawford, right? Because if you don't know who Terrence Crawford is he a boxer, right? He just retired recently, and the question was asked to him like, would you, for the right price, would you return to boxing? And Terrence Crawford like, no. He made his mind up. That's the decision. That's the decision he made, and he's standing on it. And the dude was like, man, I feel like this. I feel like everything. I feel like everything has a price. He said, you wouldn't return to boxing for 80 million, 100 million. And Terrence Crawford was like, no, because at that point you selling your soul, right? Because when you understand the principle of things, when a man retires, he made that decision for a reason, whether it be because his body couldn't handle no more of that particular sport that he was playing, or whatever career he was involved in. He couldn't. That man felt like he reached his fulfillment within that particular career, and there's nothing left for him to gain within that career. So this man, he decided to retire, right? And he said no, because if you do return at that point, you selling your soul, because somebody's offering you a certain amount of money. And he was explaining how he never got into the sport in the first place for the money. So if he didn't start for the money, why would he return for the money? Okay. Shall I give me a second? And when Terrence Crawford made that statement, like, man, like, no, you can't. I ain't gonna return for no amount of money, because at that point you selling your soul. Dude was like, shit, for 100 million you can have my soul. And then he over there laughing at his own joke. But the guy that he does the podcast with wasn't laughing. Terrence Crawford wasn't laughing, and whoever else was in the room didn't laugh. He was the only one laughing, which, like I said, he's already said some very suspect things out of his mouth that revealed his character and what type of man he is. But that right there was like a telltale. Like, a person like that who would demoralize themselves, who would humiliate themselves or allow themselves to be humiliated, you can't trust a person like that. And that's not a person you should keep around you. Because if they don't give a shit about themselves, what in the fuck make you think they're gonna give a shit about you? So that's just a telltale sign, right? And in response, Terrence Crawford, he was like, hey, well, that's you. Now we know what kind of person you are, and we know about your character. He said, "Hey, sometimes you just look at people and you just be like, damn, you ain't got no morals. You ain't got no no integrity, man." And you know, it don't matter what the price is. You should never be willing to sell your soul or to cast away your integrity just to win, so-called win in this society, man. And when you look at the scriptures and the many different accounts of our forefathers in the scriptures, that is the very reason why a lot of our forefathers took the low. A lot of our forefathers even died because of the very reason of maintaining integrity, man. So as you see the title of this lesson, what is your price? Right? And that's a question that Esau asks a lot of these niggas in the world, man. A lot of Jake, they get on, they get, they first of all, Jake is very talented, and Esau knows that. Jake has a lot of influence, and they have many different talents and gifts that the Lord blessed them with, whether it be singing, dancing, acting, you know, athletic abilities, whatever it might be. Jake is the salt of the earth, man. Our people are very special in our abilities. And Esau knows that, and Esau capitalizes off of that. But he uses it and he exploits our talents. He exploits our people's gifts in a way that's pleasing unto him. Instead of just putting Jake in position to express and display their talents in a way that's profitable unto them, that they can be able to make some money, feed their family, and even eventually build up some wealth. No, he like, no, well, you a good actor, you a very good actor, but we want you to wear this dress. We want you to put on this lipstick as a man. We want you to do this scene when you full on tongue kissing another man. We want you to play this character who's a low down piece of shit, and he's supposed to be a gangster, but he's a homosexual on the low. Oh, you're a very good artist. You're a nice, you're a good rapper. You put together words very well, but if you want a record deal with us, if you want to get any kind of fame or success in this business, if you want to progress, you can't talk about this type of stuff. You can only talk about degenerate shit. You can only talk about killing your own people, selling drugs to your own people. You can only talk about committing adultery with your own people, things of that nature. You can only talk about things that are degenerate, dishonest, dishonorable, okay? Things that don't promote productivity in your own community. If you talk about those things, we'll make sure you make plenty of money. If you wear these type of clothes, we'll make sure you're very successful, and we'll even put you on a magazine. We'll make sure everybody knows your name. And Jake, they fall for it. They eat that shit up, man. And that's why a lot of our people are gonna go and they're gonna take the MOTB for that very reason of them wanting to stay. They don't Jake don't have the desire to flee from this current world, this current kingdom that we in. They don't have any desire to want better for themselves. This is all they see. This is all they can fathom. They can't think of the roles being switched, man. They can't fathom the kingdom mindset that we have. They don't have that. They can't fathom being on the top and having their way, having everybody in subjection to them, having it to where you calling the shots. Everybody's subservient to you. You being able to do things how you want it and go where you want to go without anybody's permission. So on and so forth. Everything that comes with the kingdom of heaven, which is soon to come. Jake can't fathom the kingdom of heaven, man. So they do their best to fit in with the current kingdom that we in. And by doing that, they lower themselves. They humiliate themselves. They emasculate themselves. They don't have any integrity. They get paid to fuck over each other, right? Our people get paid to promote madness, foolishness, folly. Jake playing all day, or they promoting violence and murder, or they promoting homosexuality, or they promoting just the image of the beast altogether. Okay, so anybody whose mind is after this world, anybody who can't think past this world, they're gonna have a price. they're able to be bought. But the thing is, we was already bought with a price, man. But that will carry over in the kingdom for the 2/3, right? Right now, the elect acknowledge that. The elect acknowledge that, Lord willing, we be of the elect. We acknowledge that we already bought with a price. We not. It's not even a thought. It's not even a, we don't entertain that thought of possibly having a price of how much we can make so we can win in this kingdom, man. Okay, we ain't going against the grain for shit, for nobody. Okay, but these people, they don't like Jake say in the world, man. Hey, we not cut from the same cloth. We don't have the same spirit. These people, they love this world, so they cleave to it. Okay, that's enough rambling, though. I'm gonna get these scriptures, man. I'm gonna start off with Matthew 16 and verse 24. I read down to verse 26, and this is in the AMP, right, the Amplified version. It says, Then Yahushua said to his people, if anyone wishes to follow me as my disciple, he must deny himself, set aside selfish interests, and take up his cross, expressing a willingness to endure whatever may come. Man, does not Sirach 2:1 say, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation? When you make up your mind to enter into this truth, into this labor, whether it be in the lot of a prophet or whether whether you be a listener, either way it go, we all have a duty to rehearse the righteous acts and to change our ways from being the old man, right? We all have a duty to leave off from who we used to be, that old lifestyle, that old way of thinking, so on and so forth, to become that new creature in Yahushua. So when you make up your mind to leave off from your old self and enter into that transforming by the renewing of your mind, you can't return. You can't go back. You can't hold on to a portion of your old self. You have to leave off from everything about it. Okay, all of it. Okay. It says, I'm gonna read it again because that's heavy. It says, if anyone wishes to follow me as my disciple, he must deny himself, set aside selfish interests. What is considered a selfish interest, man? Anything that pleases your flesh, anything that brings you desire, brings you fulfillment of your desire, whether it be through sex, and whether it be through any form of your lust, right? Because lust is not only subject to sexual pleasure. Lust is anything that brings you joy. It brings you fulfillment for your flesh, right? And the scriptures tell you the Lord will not allow a man to be tempted above that which he is able to handle. But a man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. So that right there, knowing that, you understand that you have to separate from your flesh. You have to feed your spirit and not feed your flesh. When you feed your flesh, the flesh is already weak as it is. All right, the flesh is already weary. It's easy to please the flesh. It's easy to go out there and do things that satisfy your appetite. It's harder to live a spiritual life in a carnal world. We live in a carnal world that caters to pleasure. It caters to your desires. So in a world full of pleasures and lasciviousness and fleshly desires, we have to separate ourselves. All right. The scriptures tell you, see what is evil for thy soul and give not that unto it. You have to know yourself. And part of that, the first matter of fact, the beginning of that is acknowledging what you're weak to. The things that what your pleasures are, man. Okay. You have to know yourself. All right. If those things may cause you to fall, then you don't give yourself unto those things. Okay. It says, and take up his cross, expressing a willingness to endure whatever may come. Hey, and part of that is poverty, being without us, living day to day, check to check, you know, not having abundance as this world offers you, man. It's easy to go out there and labor to be rich, but we're not supposed to do that. It's easy to go out there and put your all into a career, or into a particular um path, right? Because there's many different ways to make money, but majority of those ways, if not all of those ways, are things that separate you from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. There's some honest ways to make some money, but even in that, you're still taking away your attention and your time away from serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So it don't matter anyway. All right. So it says, you have to express that willingness to endure whatever may come. It says, and follow me, believing in me, conforming to my example in living and if need be, suffering or perhaps dying because of faith in me. How many people willing to do that? All right, these people, they love themselves too much, man. And the scriptures tell you about that. In the last days, perilous times shall come, and men shall be lovers of themselves, heady, high-minded. Okay, these people, they take themselves too seriously, man. And they if people are not idolizing other people, they're idolizing money. If they're not idolizing money, they're idolizing themselves. Stand in the mirror all damn day. Mostly women, but you have men that do it too. Standing in the mirror all day, taking 1,000 pictures a day. They made themselves into idols, and they can't live with the thought of being low, being impoverished, right? Especially these people that came from nothing and then they finally got a taste of that life, like this guy Channing Crowder. I would never trust a dude like that around me, man, because for the right price, he'll off you, all right? People like that, they'll sacrifice their mama, they'll sacrifice their kids to take pleasure in this world, or to take part in the pleasures of this world. All right, you can't trust a person like that, man. This nigga said, "Hey, for $100 million, you can have my soul." So continuing on, it says, "Yeah, man, hey, that's heavy." It says, For whosoever wishes to save his life in this world will eventually lose it through death. But whosoever loses his life in this world for my sake will find it. That is life with me for all eternity." Okay, and what's more rewarding than that? What's better than that, man? All right, continuing on. Uh, For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world, wealth, fame, success, but forfeits his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? Okay, what's worth more than your soul? The answer is nothing, man. But some people don't feel like that. Some people don't think that way. They feel like shit, and that's just the number that was being discussed. You got some people that will sell their soul, that will cast away their integrity, that will lose all moral for $5 million, $10 million. The nigga didn't even say 100 billion. He said 100 million. 100 million ain't shit, man. Especially now, the way that this society is crashing, and the dollar, the FRN, nigga, 100 million FRNs, Jake ain't shit, man. This nigga said, "Hey, for $100 million, you can have my soul," and then thought everybody was gonna join in with him laughing. No, man. Some people don't think like that. There's some people who's not in the truth that do stand for something, that don't believe in that way of thinking. All right, it's some people who do have integrity. That's not in the truth. So let me go to the next one, Luke 12:15. It says, "And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consists of not in the abundance of the thing." And that's the reason why I feel the way they do, man. And he's just one of many people who feel like that. That's why he's not going to be bashed on the internet. Nobody's going to call him out or condemn him for saying what he said. Either people are going to stay silent, or they're going to openly defend him for saying what he said, because they feel the same way. For $100 million, oh, $100 million will set you up for life, and then you can be able to pass down some money to your kids, and then you'll be set. Yeah, but you're taking it up the ass. You putting on dresses and shit. You've discarded all form of masculinity. That carries over. So yeah, you might be able to make $100 million to be able to pass down to your children, but guess what? Guess what you're also going to pass down to your children? Shame, dishonor, a stained name, a stain on your name. Your name from that point on is going to be stained. All these niggas, all these so-called actors that for the right price put on a dress, put on lipstick, did scenes where they was kissing other men or they was having sex, screen intercourse with other men on camera, that emasculated themselves, that did immoral things. You're gonna be ashamed. You can't come back from that. You have some actors that turn down big money because they didn't want to put on no dress or take part in those different acts, man. And you got to respect that. All right, just right. That's why I respect Terrence Crawford. If he actually stand on what he's saying, and he actually is true behind what he is truth behind what he said, I respect it. Because in this world, man, it's not many people that have integrity. It's not many people left that have integrity, and that's willing to stand on that integrity, despite what other people think. Because he could have laughed about it. He could have did some shucking and jiving and just to please that dude on that podcast. But no, he didn't. He didn't laugh with him. He didn't agree with him. He didn't say, "Yeah, I understand what you're saying," but no, he said, "Hey, well, that's you. Now we know who you are. Now we know what kind of person you are." Okay, a man's life consists of not in the abundance of the things which he possesses. Yo, $100 million don't make you more special than anybody. Just because you live in a big ass 200-acre house, you got 13 rooms and two car garages, and that don't make you big man. You know that don't make you who you really are, because the Lord looks on the inward man. He looks on the heart. You might look a certain way to men, but who are you on the inside? Who is how is your spirit? How did you obtain those things? Because in this current world, to get to that level, you got to do some shit. You got to make some sacrifices. You got to do some rituals. You're not just gonna be living next to Moab and living next to Esau in these big ass multi-million-dollar mansions, and you living an honest life. No, you have to be compromised in some kind of way. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 8 in the NLT. It says, "Take no bribes, for a bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. A bribe makes you even right. Excuse me. A bribe makes even a righteous person twist the truth." And we see that to this day, man. We see a lot of these different camps and these so-called leaders and false prophets who are compromised. They've been bought out. And I'm not gonna sit up here and name them. You can do the math. You can just use the process of elimination. You know who we talk about, who we always talk about. Yeah, they compromised. They at one point they seen the truth. They was calling on the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, but then when they seen that those commas on that check, when they seen that money start flooding in, oh shit, niggas got blind. They started overlooking the same things that they used to condemn. They started overlooking them. The things that they used to shun and rebuke for, they started receiving it and promoting it. And next thing you know, man, it's a complete 180 in the things that they taught, the things that they so-called believed in. Now they don't believe in them things no more. Now the people that do believe in those things, oh, you wrong. You're off. You don't have the right proper understanding. But the thing is, man, Esau got to them. All right, whether it be through gifts or whether it be through fear, and that was enough for them to change up their way. All right, the scriptures tell you, meddle not with them that are given to change. Okay, you can't trust a person like that, man. All right. Again, I'm gonna read it again. Take no bribe, no bribes. For a bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. All right. And I'll never forget a video I seen years ago of this guy, Lil Wayne, man. He's like, I don't see racism. You know, when I got shot, you know, and the police showed up, all the people that looked like me stepped over me. But you know who it was that helped me? It was a white cop. It was a white man. So I don't see racism. Nigga, that's not the reason why you don't so-called see racism. It's because you've been taking part in those things that your enemy has introduced to you. You've been taking part in that lifestyle. You can't say that you see racism. You can't say that you see who the enemy is, and you can't openly identify your enemy, who is Esau, because they'll take away everything. They'll strip your ass, man. Just like they made an example out of Kanye when he got to talking a little too much. How you go from being a billionaire? First of all, how are you a billionaire and you don't have complete control over your own bank account? What power do you really have? You're a billionaire, and you can't at the drop of a dime, you can't go to the bank and withdraw every penny out of your own bank of money that you made, that you earned through your art, your hard work, through your creativity. You cannot go to the bank and withdraw every last dime out of the bank of money that belongs to you. The people, they'll start asking questions. Oh, well, why do you want to take out this much money? You will get a flag, man. They'll flag the IRS on your ass. And the police will show up just because you wanted to withdraw a certain amount of money out of your bank. That money's yours though, right? That money makes you powerful though, right? No, that money makes you weaker. That money actually puts you more in subjection to this world. It makes you more of a servant. But these people, they think money equals power, and that's not the case, man. This knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is where the real power lies. And these people gonna see that. This is considered greater than riches, man. Okay? The scriptures tell you that wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Okay? This knowledge, wisdom, that's why you can't do nothing. When you read about King Solomon, there's not a more respectable account that, well, I'm gonna say this, man. That's one of the most respectable accounts, I'm gonna say. The fact that when the Heavenly Father asked him what did he want, instead of him asking for what the average man, what the average man would ask for, which is the desires of the flesh. Oh, I want many women. I want to have power. I want to have control. I want to be able to have these type of abilities. I want to be able to smash all my enemies. I want to be able to have all the riches in the world. You know, he asked for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be able to lead his people, the people of Israel. And with that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding also came all of those other things that you could have asked for. So riches bring to a kingdom. Wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Okay? But if you have one without the other, it's a recipe for failure. If you have, well, let me say, Slocky, I didn't mean to say that. If you have riches without wisdom, right? Because it's not a both ways type of thing. It's only if you have riches without wisdom, okay? Eventually those riches are going to destroy you. They're going to eat you up. Okay? And a lot of these people, they don't have any desire to have understanding, to understand what the will of the Lord is. It's all about them. Continuing on. All right, this is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. 1 John 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Yep, that's where your care and your respect lies, in the things of the world. Because if you acknowledge the Lord first, you would have never fixed your mouth to say something like that. Shit, for $100 million, you can have my soul. You asshole. Like you're an asshole for you to say something like that, and you laughing about it. Because nowadays, that's what's promoted. That's what's rewarded. That type of person, man. And we in this society, this world has become so sensitive and so weak, so soft that you can't tell a person about themselves no more without them trying to call you a bad guy, or you're a slanderer, or you're mean. Oh, you didn't have to say that. Because you tell a nigga he ain't, hey, that's on you, man. You can't tell nobody about themselves nowadays. You see a flaming Mo walking down the street, hey, 15 years ago, that shit was never acceptable. It was never out in the open like that. But today, you're the one that's going to be shunned. You're the one that's going to be condemned if you say something about this nigga, this grown ass man with a full ass beard, with pink nail polish on, and some fucking fishnet leggings on. If you say something to this man, everybody gonna look at you like, what is wrong with you? You're so insensitive and you're hateful, and fuck this world, man. Fuck this world. And the people that love this world, fuck you too. And I mean that. Because these people are a part of the fucking problem of what we see today. Ain't no reason I should have to go to the store and some grown ass man with a fucking wig on. I'm not even gonna go there. But you see the point. And these people, they don't have no integrity, so they don't speak out against those things. And it's a domino effect. You talk about it in one aspect, but it applies to everything. It applies in every aspect, man. Because these people love this world. They don't have any desire to leave from this world. They don't have a desire for the kingdom, which is a kingdom of righteousness. All of this shit that we see is not going to be a thing. It's not going to be a problem. This is all going to be taken away, wiped away. Okay? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And the love of the Father is not in Channing Crowder and many others who think like him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. Okay? Yeah, and the fashion of this world is quickly passing away. That's why you're gonna lose in the end if you have an investment in this world, man. Because the stock of this world is crashing. So all your money that you put into this place, right? Because where your heart is, where your treasure is, there where your heart be also, right? So these people's treasure is in this world. So that's where their mind is. And their riches are gonna fail. Because this world is failing. Proverbs 28:6. This is in the AMP. It says, better is the poor who walks in his integrity than he who is crooked and two-faced, though he be rich. Okay? And it's nothing worse than that, man. Somebody who all you got to do is show them some money, show them some dollar signs, and they'll do whatever you want them to do. They'll turn on their day one childhood friend for some money. They'll forget who their father, their mother is for some money. Okay? It's better to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua and walk in your uprightness, in your integrity. Stand for something that means something, man. I ain't talking about the shit that people stand for in this world. Oh, I'm representing the block. I'm representing the hood. No, I ain't talking about that bullshit. I'm talking about something that means something to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Something spiritual. All right. This is Proverbs 16:8 in the NLT. Better to have little with godliness than to be rich and dishonest. I'm gonna read it again. Better to have little with godliness than to be rich and dishonest. Yeah, man. Because like Yahweh Shah said, a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. You know, there's many different people. There's many rich people who are pieces of shit. There's many people who are well off in this world that's fucking retarded. I see a lot of these women, mainly on social media. I see a lot of these women who they're doing very well. You know, they got substance, they got money, they always in something, some designer, but they don't have any wits about them. You know, they don't have any mind of their own. You have a lot of men out there who got a lot of money, who wear a lot of designer things, who have that substance that the world seeks after, but they don't even know how to take care of their own hygiene. They don't know how to do basic things that a man should know how to do. You can't have an intelligent conversation with majority of these people, but these are the people that are well off in this world, and they damn sure don't have any morals. You know, here it is. You got these celebrities or these athletes is what I'm thinking of. These athletes that make millions of dollars a year, but they all sharing the same woman. How smart is that? Okay, man. Proverbs 22:1. A good name, right? A good name is your integrity. I mean, your legacy. Okay, your reputation. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. And that loving favor is not loving favor among men. It's a loving favor in the heavens. Okay, if we're spoken about in the heavens in a good way, that means everything. You know, to be spoken of, to be vouched for by the angels, by Yahweh Shai, who is our intercessor, to be defended by Yahweh Bashim, or by Yahweh Shai and the angels to Yahweh. That means everything, man. Rather than to be loved of the world, who these people don't even love themselves, but they're supposed to love you. They're supposed to care about you. People go out their way to please people who they don't even know, who they even never seen, who they never will see. People go out of their way to obtain these things only to post pictures of it on social media to please people who they never seen in their life, who wouldn't give a shit if they died today. But one minute they were just loving them and praising them for all of their nice cars and the nice bags and the nice places they was traveling and then the good food they was eating, so on and so forth. But then when you pass, it's like, oh well, on to the next. That's what people fighting for, man. Corruptible crowns. Okay? But it's better in our minds. The Wadi Yahweh Shemiyah shot for that mindset. It's better to have a good name than to have many riches, choice gold, silver. All right. Loving favor with Yahweh Shem Shai rather than silver and gold in this world. Sirach 10:31. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? So you have a person who don't have much, but they're a low life. They don't got much, but they'll steal from you. You know, they don't have good hygiene. They don't have any kind of, they're always lying. They don't want to do better for themselves. What makes you think that person gonna change when they get money? Money don't change you. It only amplifies who you are. Money only amplifies who you are on the inside. If you're a piece of shit, you're just gonna be a rich piece of shit when you get money. If you're a person of integrity and respect and honor, you're gonna increase that. These people, man, these people gonna get it, man. This is a very selfish, a very um low vibrational world that we live in. All right, men and women. Yeah, my phone overheated. I'm gonna finish up. I got a couple more. From there, I'm gonna go to Romans 8, and I'm gonna finish off with that. This is Romans 8 and 5 in the AMP. I'm gonna read down to verse 9. Okay, Romans 8 and 5 in the AMP. It says, "For those who are living according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, which gratify the body." Right, and that's the wrong way to live, man. In a way that brings pleasure to your body, because the body is not it's not able to please the Heavenly Father. Only the Spirit. All right. But those who are living according to the Spirit set their minds on the things of the Spirit, His will and purpose. All right, talking about Yahweh Shema Shah. Now the mind of the flesh is death, but now and forever. Excuse me, both now and forever, because it pursues sin. Yep. Because the body operates according to senses, right? Smell, taste, feeling, sound, all right, sight, all right. It says, now the mind of the flesh is death, both now and forever, because it pursues sin. But the mind of the Spirit is life and peace, the spiritual well-being that comes from walking with the Most High, both now and forever. The mind of the flesh, with its sin pursuits, excuse me, with its sinful pursuits, is actively hostile to the Most High. It does not submit itself to the Most High's law, since it cannot, and those who are in the flesh, living a life that caters to sinful appetites and impulses, cannot please the Most High. However, you are not living in the flesh, controlled by the sinful nature, but in the Spirit, if in fact the Spirit of the Most High lives in you, directing and guiding you. But if anyone does not have the Spirit of Hamashiach, he does not belong to him and is not a child of the Most High. Okay, and you know, there's going to be many revealed, to be lovers of this world, you know, through their actions, man. The ultimate test, the ultimate revealer is going to be when the MOTB, which is the RFID microchip, when that's implemented, we're going to see just who loves this world and how much they love it, because that's going to be a pivotal moment in history, man. For those who go take that MOTB, it's sure destruction for that act. All right. Excuse me. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are not to take that MOTB, man, that RFID microchip, because it's sure destruction and you can't repent from it. You can't cut it out, pop it out, whatever. All right. But yeah, Lord willing, I pray this lesson was edifying, man. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety to the hopeful elect. Hey, DTA Abba Ball, Kwame Estrada. Till next time, Shalom.